Hello, boys and girls. The book that we're going to read this week is called Spiders by Gail Gibbons. Now, as I open this book, the first page I come across is called the Table of Contents. Now, this might give you a clue as to what the genre might be. But the Table of Contents now is broken up and says we have spiders on page 3, Spider, a poem by Pauline Carey on page 31, and Little Jumpers on page 34. And it also says, if you noticed, and if you read up here, it says Nonfiction by Gail Gibbons, Nonfiction by Deborah Churchman from A Ranger Rick magazine. So this gives you a clue and has even told you that this is a nonfiction book. So let's notice the difference between this book and then the book that we read last week from the Magic School Bus. This bus gets caught in. First page, it says, Meet Gail Gibbons, which is the author. Sometimes children write Gail Gibbons letters telling her what they think about her books. One of her favorite letters went like this. Dear Gail, I love your books. Right now I am... Oh, there's a spider crawling across the page. Squash! Gail Gibbons saved that letter, and she still has the dead spider. Do you suppose Gail Gibbons got the idea for spiders from that letter? Here is a picture of the author, and then just another picture on the other page. Then here's the beginning of the book, Spiders by Gail Gibbons. Here's page 3, like that first chapter said, or the table of contents had said. Spiders may look scary, but most of them don't hurt people. There are about 30,000 different kinds of spiders. Spiders come in many shapes and sizes. Some are so tiny that they are no bigger than the speck of dust. Others can be as big as a dinner plate. Ooh, I don't know. Most spiders are brown, gray, or black. Some have bright colors. That's a big difference, isn't it, between the small as a speck of dust and as big as a dinner plate. The first spider lived about 300 million years ago, even before dinosaurs roamed the earth. Spiders belong to a group of animals called arachnids. The word arachnid comes from an old Greek legend. Once there was a woman named Arachnia who was angry when she lost a weaving contest against the goddess Athena. When Arachnia died, Athena turned Arachnia's body into a spider so she could weave forever. Now, if you notice in this picture, it breaks it down and tells you how to say some of those big words. So if this book was yours to read, you would need to look in the picture to see how it's broken out and how to say that. A spider's body. Oh, this might be helpful for something else you have. A spider's body has two parts, the abdomen and the, oh boy, this is a hard one, boys and girls, cephalothorax. The cephalothorax means head chest. That was a big word. Can you see that big word that I just tried to read? The abdomen is pointed to here. The cephalothorax, or here it is broken down. Cephalothorax. Most spiders have 8 legs, or 8 eyes. A spider has 8 legs. Thediphallops. A spider has thediphallops to feel and to squeeze body juices from its prey. Some spiders spin silk with tiny organs called spinsterets. That's pointing back here. So spiders, and then in here it says spiders are not insects. So did you notice I had to read within this picture to really get, I didn't want to just read spiders are not insects. Look how much more we learned reading the picture and all the information in it. Now here it's going to compare an insect's body. Now we just learned spiders are not insects. An insect's body. Most insects have 2 big eyes, often with 3 smaller eyes between them. Here's its head. Antenna. An insect antenna is for touch and smell. An insect has 6 legs. Many insects have wings, a thorax, and there's its abdomen. An insect's body has 3 parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Now down here it says, their bodies are different from insects in many ways. So look at the 2 pictures. Here, let's look at this insect first, close up. Now if we compare the spider and the insect, what was the same and what was different? You can stop and pause if you'd like right now to look at those 2, go back and tell what's the same and what's different. A male spider, my book, is smaller than the female spider. When a male spider finds a mate, he must be careful. If the female spider is hungry, she might eat him. Some male spiders do a dance or bring an insect to attract a female. A mother spider lays her eggs and encloses them in a strong silk egg sac. Some spiders lay a few eggs. Others lay thousands. After a number of weeks, the baby spiders creep out of the silk sac. Spider babies are called spiderlings. And again, we have egg sac and spiderlings. Let's get a close-up look. Most spider mothers don't stay with their babies. Some spiderlings care for themselves as soon as they're born. They run up to the highest places they can find. The spiderlings spin out long streamers of silk. A breeze lifts them and carries them to their new homes. This way of travel is called ballooning. Now, if you guys ever watched Charlotte's Web, when Charlotte had her babies, when Charlotte had already died, her babies left and 3 stayed. Now that's what these spiders are doing, ballooning. There's the streamer. A spiderling grows. Its hard outer skin, called an exoskeleton, becomes tight. The skin cracks open along its back. The spider sheds it by climbing out. This is called molting. Most spiders molt 5 to 10 times. If you see, we have some more words. exoskeleton, and molting. Think about another animal that molts. Can you think of an animal that sheds its skin? We'll talk about it Wednesday. Some spiders are web weavers. They spin webs to catch their food. They are spiders that weave tangled webs. The spider spins a tangled mass of silk. When an insect is trapped, the spider runs out to get it. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you that picture and see, you can see what's going on. See how tangled it is and all crossing each other? And this one says it's a house spider. Other spiders weave sheet webs. The spider hangs upside down beneath the web. When an insect hits the sheet web, the spider quickly pulls it through the webbing. Here's this picture, and it says sheet web, and this is called a cardinal spider. So we have a house spider and a cardinal spider. Spiders create funnel webs too. The top is big and the bottom is small. The web is held in place by lines of silk. The spider sits at the bottom and waits for an insect to fly or walk in. A funnel web, and this says it's a grass spider. Some spiders spin triangle webs. A triangle web is fastened at 3 points, just like that's how it gets the triangle name. The web's bands of dry and sticky silk traps insects. So we have a picture here. It says a triangle web. So look, do you see how it looks like a triangle? And we have a triangle spider. Now, at the bottom where we can read, it says the orb weaving spider spins a pattern of many circles. But do you think that's all there's in this? Let's read more. That's why there's information in those pictures. You always got to read it all. First, the spider spins a few lines of silk to hold up the web. Then it adds lines of silk that look like the spokes of a wheel. Now let's see those two pictures first. Around and around the spider goes, adding a sticky coil to the spokes. Next, the spider waits for its meal in the center of the web, or it waits nearby. So it's giving you a step-by-step of how that spider makes its web. The most beautiful spider web of all is the orb web. So there gives you information, but let's read more because I can see more information in the picture. When an insect lands on the web shakes. Instantly, the spider pounces. It wraps the insect in silk. Then it stuns the insect with its poisonous fangs. If the spider is hungry, it eats the insect right away. If not, it waits until later. This is an orb web with a garden spider. So here we go. Make sure you guys can see that. It gives you the steps. It tells you what it's going to do and how it knows that that spider is there. And it says it's the most beautiful spider web of all. Not all spiders use webs for catching food. Some hide in burrows or beneath rocks and stones. When the spider sees an insect, it quickly runs out and grabs it. This is a wolf spider. One unusual kind of spider lives underwater. It weaves a bell-shaped web. Then it fills the web with tiny bubbles. The spider stays there, breathing the air from the bubbles, and waits to catch water insects. This is called a water spider. Another type of spider digs a tunnel and lines it with silk. To protect itself, it makes a hinged trapdoor from dirt and silk to cover the tunnel. When the spider is hungry, it opens the door a bit. If an insect comes close, the spider scurries out to catch it. A trapdoor spider. Some spiders hide on or inside flowers. One spider even changes colors from yellow to white to match the color of the flower. When an insect lands, the spider snatches it. This is called a crab spider. Can you see how it's blending in? Can you think of another word for blending in? What is that word? If you can think about it, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday as well. Some spiders are dangerous. One of them is the black widow spider. The black widow spider bites only when its web is disturbed or it is in danger. The poison of a black widow spider can kill a person. The biggest spider of all is the tarantula. When its legs are stretched out, it can measure about 10 inches wide, almost the size of a ruler. It is very hairy. Tarantulas live in the United States, are not poisonous to people. I was just going to look to see. Let me get this one. I have a ruler here. My ruler is 12 inches long. It just said it can go to 10 inches. Is that the size of a dinner plate maybe? Maybe that's the spider that they were talking about. That's pretty big. Here is that picture of a tarantula. Spiders have enemies. Some insects, like spider wasp, hunt and eat spiders. Toads, frogs, and some birds like to eat spiders too. Most spiders live for about 1 year. Some live much longer. Female tarantulas sometimes live up to be 25 years old. Many people don't like spiders because they are afraid of them. But spiders help us. They play an important role by eating many insects that are harmful to crops and people. Spiders can be interesting to watch. Scientists are still discovering new kinds of spiders and learning more about them. Spiders, spiders, spiders. Remember the nursery rhyme, Little Miss Muffet? Little Miss Muffet was a real girl. Her father was a spider expert who used to make her eat mashed spiders when she was sick. About 200 years ago, this was a common cold remedy. Some spiders can walk on water. The raft spider does this by spreading its legs wide while it takes quick steps. Spiders have an excellent sense of touch. Their bodies, mouth, and legs are covered with fine sensory hairs. A person who is terrified of spiders has arachnophobia. Spider silk is 3 times stronger than steel thread, the same thickness. The deadliest spider in the world is the Brazilian wandering spider. Spiders don't stick to their own webs because their feet are specially shaped and their bodies are covered with oil. Some spiders spin a special line called a drag line. If an enemy comes, the spider can quickly drop the drag line and escape. Not many animals eat ants because they taste badly. One spider is protected because it looks like an ant. It is called an ant mimic. Spiders can walk up walls and across ceilings because they have special grip pads on their feet. Take a look at all those spiders. I'm glad we read that to learn so much more information. Spider by Pauline Carey. I swing in the breeze, I float in the trees, I hang in the sky, I climb very high. I spin silver thread, my web is my bed. I'm spider. Strange wonders drop in the web that I spin. The sunlight and stars, some space dust from Mars, petals from flowers, rainbows from showers, surprises. My web is destroyed by the wind, by an arm or a hand, by the rain, and I have to start spinning my thread. Every day, a new home, once again. But I spin all day in the hope I may catch a bite to eat when my web's complete. For as long as I spin, a bug may drop in. I'm spider. And here's our last part of that table of contents. Little Jumpers by Deborah Churchman. Before leaping, the spider attached a thin line of silk to the bramble berry it was sitting on. Many kinds of spiders can hop about, but jumpers are amazing leapers. Some jumpers can jump as far as 20 times the length of their own bodies. If you were 5 feet tall and could jump like that, you could leap over 5 school buses in a row. Oh my goodness. How big are jumping spiders? This one from Florida is very big for a jumping spider. Most are only about the size of a pencil eraser. Now think about how far it can jump if it's the size of a pencil eraser. Found a little spider? Does it have a square-shaped head like this one? Let's get real close. Let's see. See how it's a square-shaped head? Let's find out. If it does, you have your first clue that it's a jumping spider. Next clue, look for really big eyes. Does it have really big eyes? The final test for whether or not your spider is a jumper is, does it jump? So check out the jumpers. Cute and curious, fast and furious. Jumping spiders are all around. What a wonderful learning book. This reminds me of our first book that we did about the pets. We could have used something like this, and maybe the people who did write about spiders did use a book like this. But could you now write information and knowing about spiders? What could you go write in your journal that you could tell somebody about spiders? Could you come up with an intro sentence and at least three sentences about spiders? I bet you could if you listened to this book a couple of times. Have a great day, guys.